Hey, what's up, guys? Scavenger Reviews here, and if you see all my stuff is empty, I'm actually moving. But before I move, I just have a quick question to ask, and I'm being absolutely serious here. I am the biggest, well, not the biggest, but I am quite a big Texas Chainsaw fan. But is the first movie even that good? Hear me out now. Hear me out now. Don't just click off and get mad or whatever. I feel like the first movie is put on this pedestal that no other movie in the franchise can hope to even come close to. It doesn't matter what comes out, doesn't matter if it's a remake, a reboot, whatever. New timeline, new continuity, nothing can be good as this one. And this one is really fucking good. I love it. You know? I mean, I bought it twice. I bought the DVD and then upgraded to the 4K when it came out. And see, this 4K is actually really annoying because, like, the back of the box is literally just white. So what I did is, it gives you this, like, kind of cover thing whenever you buy it. And my sister, actually, it wasn't what I did. My sister, because she's fucking awesome, like, cut it out and then, like, plastered it on. And then, like, yeah, it's really cool. Actually, hold on. There was a similar case with the Texas Chainsaw, where like this one, I did like the fuck, I almost dropped it. That one I did like the outside of it, but I still wanted like all the words and the text and the little synopsis. Texas Chainsaw continues with the legendary story of the story of the homicidal Sawyer family, yada yada, you know. But I don't know. Because, like, that one, the back of the box, is at least cool. It has detail, it has artwork. The back of this box, this isn't even a criticism of the movie, this is, like, criticism of the company, obviously. The back of this box was just fucking blank, stark white. Which, like, this blank, stark white that works in the negative right here, it works because it's negative space, It's not the only space. Anyways, again, I actually really like this movie. I think it's a great movie. I think the characterization of Leatherface is absolutely on peak, like absolutely peak in this movie, and is really good. I love the scene where it's right after like he has to do all of his stuff. There's a moment where he just goes and sits down by the window and he's just like freaking out and just like doing this, and like freaking out. And I am not remotely the first person to point this out, but like in this movie, particularly this one, the further you go on, it kind of changes it. But in that movie, Leatherface is more killing out of fear and response than like just being like evil. He's not just like, did I got that all on my teeth. Look at that. That looks terrible. Anyways, though, I mean, I did kind of like, go ham on it. That was intentional. I wanted it to look bad. I should do that more often. I'm really digging this eyeshadow, man. I should do that more often. Anyways, though, which is not even that good. This is like the first time I've ever applied makeup to myself. I've had makeup applied to me, like my sister and my girlfriends have done it and stuff like that. My like both actual girlfriends and then like female friends, both have done it before in the past. Never had a guy put makeup on me. That's on my bucket list. I'll get that. No, it's a weird thing, but like I feel like it matters. It's different. Like the male gaze. Speaking of male gaze, how about my boy Leatherface? Talk about being progressive, We stand a queer icon. Boy was doing drag and transsexuality way before it was cool, you know? Because I'm not even talking about the next generation. That's a whole other thing, bro. But, like, in this very first movie, dresses up in different outfits, and he's got the pretty woman, and then like I think some people call it the grandma look, you know. Oh no, the cook look. No, the cook is the cook, but I don't know. Where he's like the older lady, you know, and he completely envelops himself into these personas, you know. Like the main one is like mostly I think just him, you know, quote unquote, or at least his approximation of himself. You know, been there, Leatherface. Seriously, buddy, been there. Identity issue is tough. You know. um, what was I saying? Oh yeah, and then there's the grandmother one, and he is much softer in that one. And like whenever like the other family members yell at him, he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." He doesn't say anything, but he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry," you know. And he's the cook, and he makes the nice dinner. I mean, and then when he gets to the dinner, he puts on his best suit. Boy's looking fresh. Boy's looking spiffy, and he puts on the pretty woman outfit. That's what that one's called. I know that one for a fact. I'm not sure if the one where he's making the dinner is called like the grandmother look, but to me he looks like a grandma, or at least a older woman household figure, and I just think that this movie is really great, and I'm not gonna go into like super into like the depth, like in-depth, character themes and, plot synopsis and stuff like that, because there's a million videos on that. Because there is, again, I'm not trying to tear this one down at all, So let me tear it down for a second real quick. This movie is slow as hell, okay? It takes like fucking 45 minutes to get going, or at least it feels like that, and then I actually respect how little gore it shows in this movie. I think I don't remember the exact number, but let's say the typical horror movie set would use like 50,000 pints of blood or something. This only used 10,000 pints of blood, or something like that. I remember there was some kind of number statistic, but there's not much blood in this movie, and there's no gore at all, really, except for like well, I mean, there is gore. I mean, but it's all like implied and stuff like that. Like, really, the goriest scene I can think off the top of my head from this one is when he kills the. I really need to look up names of characters before I get into this. Alright, so when he kills Franklin, he's like literally like stabbing the chainsaw into his chest, and I just really hold on. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Anyways, and then of course the meat hook scene, and like I always squirm a little bit at the meat hook scene, because that's rough. Because I can just, I mean, I can't feel it. I've never been impaled on a meat hook before, no holes back there, but I can like, just going into the meat like at that ink, gross, man. And that's actually something that the 2003 Texas Chainsaw remake did really well too. It kind of upped the ante. Where like, oh, it's so fucking horrible when like Jessica Biel is like trying to like help her boyfriend, I think, and she like tries to lift him off of the meat hook, almost gets him, and then drops him back down on it. Ooh, that hurts. Anyways, back to first one. It is slow, and look, I see a ton of videos, and there's like one in particular where it's called like why the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is still scary nowadays or today or something like that. And look, man, I mean, I'm a desensitized, Gen Z. I was watching like Alien versus Predator at like fucking 11 years old, bro. Maybe in 1974, you had like boomers quaking in their custom baby seal leather boots, at the thought of this poor decrepit, deranged man, you know. And I mean, like, look, if I was there, yeah, I'm fucking shitting my pants. I'm quaking in my custom baby seal leather boots. But it's not real though, you know. I don't know. I watch all these old like horror movies, and it's like they're good in quality, yes, but like y'all thought this was scary? Y'all thought this was scary? This type of movies I was growing up on. You know? I was watching shit like this. You know, when you guys were apparently watching fucking Strawberry Shortcake and My Little Pony, like the first one, the G1 one, you know? And like what else? The Smurfs and Snorkels, what the fuck else were like old cartoons back in the day, man? The Flintstones and shit like that. I don't know, man. Anyways, I am in no way saying that this one is bad. This is still definitely like a 7 out of 10, if not more or less for me. You know, maybe an 8 out of 10 depending on just what I'm feeling that day. Because, as I said in the last Texas Chainsaw Massacre video, if you're watching these sequentially, there's a good movie can be boring and a bad movie can be entertaining. This is a good movie, but it's a little boring. It's kind of, like I said, it's kind of fucking slow. And I mean, if you're not, this movie, pun intended, will absolutely hook you. It's just a matter of when, you know. And if it hooks you right off the bat, then you're good and you're interested. But if you're like me, it takes a minute to get you hooked, you know. I mean, like, I'm here for Leatherface, bro. Sally ain't the main character. He's the main character, you know. He's literally got like 2 movies named after him, you know. Leatherface, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, and Leatherface, just Leatherface, which that one sucks, but we'll get to that. And I just really dislike, because, like, I have no problem saying that this movie's good, but so many people will be talking about the other movies and just absolutely glazing this movie, you know? This movie's dick is, like, spotless, dude. It is shine clean, just down to the microscopic molecular detail, you know? It is slobbered on, you know? And it's always in disservice of the other movies, you know? It's always saying, like, oh, well, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 11, you know, 14, 85, you know. It's just not as good as the first one, and it's like, look at it in a vacuum, bro. You know, I'm not, like, besides bringing up the meat hook thing from the 2003 Texas Chainsaw, which that wasn't a comparison, that was a parallel, I'm not directly comparing this to movies later on in the franchise, you know? And, like, I don't know. You get what I'm saying, though? You get what I'm saying? Like, movie's fucking awesome. I love it, you know? I bought it twice. This was like $30, you know? And I legitimately... No, it was $40. It was $39.99. Or like $35.89 or something like that. I don't remember. Anyway, so... Oh, shit, my glasses. And I bought this shit again, you know? Clearly, I like it at least a little bit. If I bought it again, you know? Which, I actually really like both of these covers, because that scene, fucking reflective. That scene is like right the beginning, the end of the movie, where he's like running out of the house after Sally and shit like that. And then this is like the classic poster, you know? Which, speaking of which, this is actually really fucking cool. It comes with a poster. First of all, 2 discs. Nah, but check this shit out, bro. Who will survive, and what will be left of them? Ain't that fucking cool? And then the reverse poster is like the eye, like where Sally's being like fucking tormented. Which, let me just say, that scene goes on for way too fucking long. Like, it's like we get it, bro. You know, and it's like the dinner scene. It's a scene like on right there, you know, and it's in every movie. You know, it's in the remake and the prequel to the remake, and like the second movie as well. Uh, it's not a dinner scene in the third movie. I know they're making dinner, but I don't believe they actually get around to having it. Nah, I don't think so. Because they get interrupted. But anyways, it's in a ton of the movies. You know, the fourth movie as well, which that... Oh, we'll get to that. But it's in the fourth movie as well, you know, and I don't like the dinner scene. I mean, I do, like, once it finally gets around to it, you know, the dinner scene is antithetical to the problem with my problem with the whole movie. It just takes too fucking long to get going. I don't want the movie to be, like, only 60 minutes, you know, so, like, they had to put something there. But, like, just fucking get to it, you know? The dinner scene goes on for, like, 5 minutes of Sally just looking around and screaming and crying and doing one of these, you know, for, like, fucking 45 minutes. And then, like, when she finally, and then, like, you know, both Leatherface and, is he called Drayton or is the other one called Drayton? I can never remember which brother's which. I believe Drayton is the one from the first movie. Chop Top's the one from the second movie. Yep. Anyways, but, yeah, Drayton, yeah. Anyways, both Bubba and Drayton are both just, like, taking turns looking at her, you know? And it's like, it's fucking, it's just, I don't know. Like, I was watching it and I was just like, well, we get into it? And then when it gets to it, it's back on track. It's fucking awesome. Like, it is tense, and it goes right back into being, like, terrifying, and, like, I kind of know she's gonna survive, because, like, everybody survives all the time, except for my previous review, which was the beginning one, where everybody dies in that movie, so talk about subversion expectations, Ryan fucking Gosling. Wait, no, Ryan, oh fuck, what was his name? Ryan. The director for the 8th Star Wars movie, whatever his name was. He's fucking bullshit ass director, bro. I don't even like your movie Knives Out. I'm a hater, professional hater. Get guilty. Guilty. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. But like, I'm getting lipstick like all over my teeth, bro. Anyways, it gets right back into being terrifying and right back into being tense. When fucking Bubba and Drayton are holding Sally down over the bucket, and like the grandpa is just like barely able to even like hold the hold the hammer, and then he's like, they're literally like holding his hand, holding the hammer, trying to get grandpa to kill her. It's fucking tense, bro, and like it does click her in the back of the head, like I think twice, you know, like damn, ouch, I feel that, you know, because like you feel it, you hear it, you see it, ooh, you know, and like, bro, the ending of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre cannot be topped. I know I just said like, oh well, whenever people talk about the later movies, they always say that it can't top the original. I know I just said that. I know I'm being a hypocrite. It's my fucking channel, bro. I can do what I want, you know. But you'll never get a better ending to specifically a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie than the ending of the first one. You know, where like they run out, and what's annoying me is, and I know this is because a movie is a movie, and it has to be a movie, but when Sally is running out of the house, you see fucking Drayton chasing her, and he's like doing like one of these runs. Like, boy, you are a fucking like tall, lanky motherfucker. I don't know how tall he is. Like, I don't know the exact heights, but you are a 6'2" motherfucker, because he is quite tall. You can catch her ass, you know? Like, if he just locked in and did one of these, you know, he could catch her ass. He's fucking getting her ass, you know? But a movie's got a movie. I get that. It just felt a little obvious. Maybe have him, you know, T-1000 sprinting at her, but just have her be further out from the house, you know, so that, like, he does close the gap, and he closed the gap realistically fast, but you know it was a larger gap to close. You know, and just my suggestion. Anyways, when she gets to the road, and she, you know, does the whole thing where she flags down the truck driver and then flags down another truck driver who's like actual truck, not a semi truck. Which, fun fact, so there's part of that where Leatherface falls and the chainsaw falls onto his leg and like cuts into it. No, it's like lower down. It like cuts into his leg a little bit. That was real, kind of. What they did is they put a metal plate in his pant leg, like just a metal cylinder around his leg. Well, I don't know if it was a cylinder, but they put a metal plate around his leg, and they actually dropped the chainsaw like on that metal plate under the pant leg, you know. And apparently it got like really really hot because like it heated up instantly because it's a chainsaw going against metal in Texas in the summertime on a on like an afternoon morning. Well, a morning. There's no such thing as an afternoon morning. Anyways, though, but yeah, it was fucking real. I mean, everything was real about this movie. You know, it is so. This movie is like a gold mine. This is my comfort movie. You know, I know that's gonna make me sound like fucking Dexter, but like, this is my comfort movie. When I want to just chill and have some noise in the background, because like I like to draw. You know, I did upload one video of me drawing. Maybe I'll do some more in the future. I don't know. But I like to draw, and when I draw, I put this movie's commentary track on in the background, and I just listen to the commentary track. You know? That one, and funny enough, this one too. Cause see, there's 3 types of commentary tracks. There's the commentary track to a good movie. There's a commentary track to a good movie that you are interested in, and then there's a commentary track to a bad movie. And see, Texas Chainsaw 2013, and look at this fucking box. Like, tell me that's, like, I know, you know, people have their feelings about the movie, but you can't tell me that's not a cool fucking box, bro. You know? You can't tell me that. Anyways, why I love that movie's, commentary track is no one really, well, I mean, not no one, there are people, no one really thinks they're gonna, you know, set out to make a bad movie. You know, people, when they're making something, they believe in it, you know, typically. I know there's like, you know, directors that don't like their movies and stuff like that, but I'm saying, when you get a bad movie that the directors fully believe in, and the cast fully believe in, and they think is fucking awesome, I love that. Just that little bit of delusion, you know, that's good shit. I love that. You know, because like when I can't remember the name of the director or whatever, but when the director was talking about it in the commentary, he was talking about it like his favorite. He's a fan, you know. You know, he was like getting giddy about like, you know, oh, and in this scene, that chainsaw, that's real. When he jumps over that is real. When he flips over the the van, and he's sticking that chainsaw in, like, that is real, man. He's getting into it like I am. I'm not exaggerating. I'm practically paraphrasing. I'm serious. Look up the like interview, buy the Blu-ray, I don't know if it's on the DVD, probably on the DVD, I don't know. But like, it's a good movie, you know, and a really good commentary. And bro, the fucking hold on. Any single time Alexandra the trio, like this chick, any single time she is on screen, the fucking director, and I don't remember, I think it was there was like 2 tracks. There was one with the director and the like producer, and then there was one with the director and the guy who played Leatherface in that one. But anytime Alexandria Daddario, whatever the fuck her name is on screen, they are fucking swooning over her. They are literally like 10-year-old boys, and that's what I love, you know. They are like 10-year-old boys. This is a movie made by 10-year-old boys. You know, when they see her, they're like, wow, She looks good in that top, man. Whew. And I wanted to do a shirtless scene, but no one would let me. You know, they were saying shit like that. You know, I love it. You know, it's just like shameless. They had a real fun time. They had a fucking blast doing it. You know. Boy, do I get off the rails and go on tangents. That's what I should call this shit. You know, tangent reviews. This movie's amazing. I love it. There's heaps and heaps and heaps of fun facts you can learn about it. I could go on for hours and just talk about this movie and glaze this movie myself. All that I ask is don't put down the other movies because this is the greatest movie of all time. You're not gonna follow it up, you know? Like, I'm sorry, not everything can be Shrek 2. Not everything can be Terminator 2. You know? Like, it is really hard to follow up something that is just a nice, neat, self-contained story that is, like, in essence, perfect, you know? It's not a perfect movie, obviously, but it is a perfect story, you know? It's really great. It's got the ups, it's got the downs, it's got the spooks, the gooks, it's got the tension, got the fear, got the grossness, you know? Just give the other ones a chance, man. You know? Like, YouTubers, because I watch a lot of YouTube reviews. I listen to them whenever I'm driving, I listen to them whenever I'm playing video games, and I'll have them in the background. And I listen to movie reviews and stuff like that. And everybody always, anytime they talk about any other Texas Chainsaw, whether it's the second, third, fourth, fifth, you know, whatever, all the way up to the newest one, they just say the exact same thing. And they're like, well, it's not as good as the classic, it's not as good as the original. No, duh. You try following this shit up, bro. What would you do? I don't know what I would do. I know for a fact I wouldn't make a movie as good as this. It's just not, I'm just not good. I'm not qualified. I'm not qualified to do that. You ain't either, you know? You're fucking, armchair director? You ain't either. I've rambled on long enough. I'm gonna go to bed. It's like 1 in the morning. Hold on. No, it's 12:54. It's almost 1 in the morning. You guys can find me on Scavenger Reviews, obviously, my YouTube. Please watch me. I don't always wear makeup. You know, if you're like one of those people where you're like, this weird queer boy is wearing makeup. I don't know about this. You know, I don't always wear makeup. You know. You can find me on Scavenger Reviews on Instagram as well. Definitely check me out there. I don't post as much as I should, but if I had more followers, I'd have a reason to post. Just saying. Again, I just want to say, Big Bad Toy Store. I know this is super unrelated because this isn't an action figure review, but Big Bad Toy Store, if you want to sponsor me. What if I just started saying I was sponsored? Like, what would happen? You know, I mean, obviously, like, some kind of NDA or whatever, but, like, hold on. I'm Tyler, and this is sponsored by Gatorade. Drink healthy. Refreshing. Just ignore that that's, like, actually Crystal Light that I refilled, a white Gatorade. Anyways, I've been Scavenger Reviews. I'll see you guys on the next one, dragging this out so it can be exactly 29 minutes. Hell yeah.